The previous episode had both teams bolt across the heart of the country in the Volkswagen Virtus and Taigun, enjoying the best of highways and cuisines. And it's now time for the finale that sees Hallie and Ben and Sanit and me dash to the endpoints of our respective journeys, Kibitu in Arunachal Pradesh and Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu, after having driven for thousands of kilometers across India in our beloved Volkswagens. Across the Coronation Bridge, Hallie and Ben were experiencing a whole new world. The terrain had changed, the air got cooler, and they found themselves surrounded by dense forests, besides which an ocean of tea plantations welcomed them into the northeast. Of course, this also meant the roads got narrower, something these two were experiencing for the first time on their journey, unlike Sanit and me.
We are in Assam, the first of the northeastern states on our drive from the westernmost point to the easternmost point in India. The next few days are going to be very interesting indeed.
That's right, and it's great to be surrounded by these lovely tea estates. I can finally find my cup of black tea.
Of course, and what better place to be than in Assam, the largest producer of tea in India.
True, India has come a long way in making world-class products, and it's not just tea. The Virtus and Taigun are fitting examples of made in India products for the world.
Let's go have that cup of tea then.
Yeah, let's do that.
In stark contrast, Sanit and I were now experiencing the warmth that the southern parts of our country have to offer, quite literally. One of the first major cities we were crossing was the city of Nizams, Hyderabad, which is known for its lavish lifestyle and IT parks, besides having recently hosted India's first ever Formula E race. Thankfully, we managed to dodge the city's ridiculously infamous traffic though, to continue south and get back to some excellent highways. And as we crossed over from Telangana to enter Andhra Pradesh, the 9th state we were driving through, I could not help but think about the flawlessness with which the Virtus and Taigun were performing. This, despite being driven from dawn to dusk every day in every possible condition. And now that I was piloting the Taigun GT, with the 6-speed manual gearbox, I was enjoying my time behind the wheel even more. And finally we were in Tamil Nadu, hitting the sun-kissed beaches along the country's eastern coastline and by the Bay of Bengal. Finally, we're in Tamil Nadu, the southernmost state of the country, driving all the way down from about 6,500 feet above sea level in Kashmir to this beach in Chennai.
Yeah, the Marina Beach, isn't this the longest beach in India?
It's not just the longest beach in India, in fact it's also the longest beach in Asia and the second longest urban beach in the world, and that makes it quite a landmark here.
And what an experiential journey we've had. The cars have performed flawlessly. So, what's the plan in Tamil Nadu?
So, let's hit the east coast road, head down south via Pondicherry and see what we find on the way.
Sounds good.
So while Sanit and I were in Tamil Nadu, Ben and Hallie were on the eastern side too. But they were several thousand feet above the sea level that we were at and were enjoying the lovely weather and sparse traffic, heading towards the easternmost tip of our vast country. And in their case too, the Virtus GT and Taigun 1-litre automatic were performing flawlessly, cementing our belief in their suitability to Indian conditions, their solid build and reliability even further. And this is where I was feeling a bit jealous because driving through Arunachal Pradesh, Hallie and Ben seemed to be enjoying some of the most exotic views our country has to offer. Arunachal Pradesh is referred to as the land of dawn-lit mountains thanks to its stunning mountain ranges, the snow-capped peaks, picturesque valleys, lush green forests and more. The state is truly a gem tucked away at the eastern end of our nation and is a dream come true if you like adventure.
Finally, we have made it. 4,000 kilometers and 7 states later, we are at the easternmost point in India, in Kibitu in Arunachal Pradesh. All that we have done over the past few days was meant to bring us here.
It wasn't just the long distances, it was also the varied terrain. In fact, the last 200 kilometers getting here was true blue SUV terrain.
Yeah, I was confident that my Taigun would make it, but I was shocked to see you pilot the Virtus through such difficult terrain. Even SUV owners would think twice about doing that.
I wasn't worried at all. In fact, living with the Virtus the last few days, I think it's all the car you'll ever need.
Likewise with the Taigun.
What an adventure this has been.
But Ali, there's one more. We need to get back home.
Oh yes, and I'm confident that the cars will take us back home safely.
I could only imagine the sense of accomplishment that Ben and Hallie were experiencing, having conquered the breadth of India in two of the safest cars on sale in the country. And that's because the Volkswagen Taigun and Virtus have both created benchmarks in their respective segments, having scored 5 stars in the global NCAP safety tests. Meanwhile, as Sanit and I continued bolting towards Kanyakumari, we could not resist a small detour to Pondicherry. With its unique blend of French and Indian influences, the coastal town is a delight for tourists thanks to its beaches, French-style villas, cuisine, cafes and more. But the time spent there meant we had to skip going to Rameswaram and drive straight towards Kanyakumari. And finally, we were there. We had done it. Driving all the way from the lofty mountain peaks in Kashmir, 3,500 kilometers later, we were finally in Kanyakumari at the southernmost tip of India, in the company of our now well-tested Volkswagen Taigun and Virtus. This just feels so surreal. I mean, my brain is yet to register that we've reached Kanyakumari, the southernmost tip of our country, having driven all the way from Kashmir, covering over 3,500 kilometers in just about a week's time.
Yes, it's yet to sink in for me as well. All the experiences, the changes in the terrain, the changes in the temperature, starting off from sub-zero degrees in Kashmir to 30 degrees over here in Tamil Nadu.
We've had a blast, but Sanit, there's one thing that's remained unchanged throughout this drive.
And what's that?
Well, the Taigun and the Virtus. So, the cars have performed brilliantly. We've driven them across highways, through country roads and some of the worst traffic in so many cities, but they've just been flawless despite the weather changes that you spoke of. Nothing has affected them.
I guess that's the true hallmark of the solid engineering that Volkswagen's cars are known for.
Absolutely, and in the case of these two, they are made in India for India. But one of my biggest takeaways from this entire marathon run that we've just completed has to be the 1 litre and the 1.5 TSI engines. I mean, they've just performed so well. The performance has been good. They've felt so refined throughout, and the fuel efficiency has been consistent. And all this despite the fact that we've had to refuel at unknown places. We've put the engines through their paces on so many occasions.
You know what? That's because they're turbocharged. And all this while Team B has driven across the breadth of India, conquering all terrains from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh.
Epic. And I mean, while we've not really tried to break or make any records, this is something that hasn't really been done before. And like I said at the start, there's lots of emotions coursing through. And I really couldn't have thought of a better way to celebrate Turbocharged's 2nd anniversary.